And in hindsight, I realized if you're dealing with a woman that after you nut, you immediately want her to leave and you don't want her to stay, it means you don't genuinely enjoy her presence. Most guys lose themselves after the 18 to 28 period.
Experience life, but try not to have too much collateral damage along with that. So when it's time for you to get your life in check, push back all those experiences, but also not have no collateral damage that keeps you from becoming who you need to be moving forward. What's good, peeps? It's your boy JP back at it again with another reaction video, and today we are reacting to Dudley J, Edouard. I don't know how to. I'm gonna put your name on the thing, brother. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but shout out to you. Yeah, we reacted to his video, and today's video is the identity shift every man must make after 30. So if you don't know, I'm 31 years old. So maybe I'm late to the party. I don't know. Y'all tell me. We're going to figure it out when we watch this video. But shout out to him. If you in this age range, if you're approaching 30 or if you're already after 30, this is a video we need to check out. So, you know, we all about prosperity around this mug. So before we get into the video, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the like button, please. Thank you. And also hit the subscribe button. Join the Prosper Gang. We keeping it PG. There's a whole lot of prosperity going on around this mug. You feel me? So with that being said, let's just get into this identity shift that we supposed to be making after 30. Without further ado, let's just get into the video.
You know, 18 to 28 is the most dangerous decade in a man's life. Not for what you think. I was scrolling the other day on Facebook, just, you know, catching up and seeing people from high school, from college, who had all the talent in the world, not doing shit with their lives now, posting pictures with blunts in their hands, out of shape, obese. You know, the guys who were naturally talented as younger males in their teens and 20s, oftentimes you can see when the great shift starts to happen. And that great shift is the guy who didn't have the talent, the guys who...
I'm gonna stop right there because I think he about to get in his bag. You know what I mean? So, so I know people, you know, that, and I spoke about this on other videos, the one that was talking about philosophy, but I know people that I grew up with that did have natural talent. And I'm not saying that they're still not talented because they might be watching this video, but they still are talented. You know what I mean? But some people, not saying them in particular, but there's some people that do peak in high school. It's some people that I wasn't friends with, but I know of them, and they peaked in high school. You know what I mean? I was a late bloomer, and it just come with the territory. But there are definitely people that are naturally talented that peak in high school. It's like they talent gave them the talent or skills or charisma or whatever, gave them the fortitude to not have to work hard for a lot of things. A lot of things was just given to them because it was natural. And now in the real world, now that everything don't typically work like that, you actually have to work for the things you have that you want in life. And that's just kind of how it works. So, but I'm gonna let him finish. I just wanted to slide in, no Diddy, and say that.
who maybe overlooked, who weren't that popular, the guys who had to work for everything. Now is when you start to see the compound effect hit. You see the mindset shift that men have to make by the time they hit their 30s. Is that you can no longer seek validation. You can no longer rest on your past laurels like a lot of guys did in their 20s. In their 20s.
Now, I will say he's right that you can't seek validation. But in the age of social media has made life like a big ass high school, like college on a mega level, right? And though you might not get validation from people you're forced to be around because y'all live in the same area, y'all live in similar circumstances, so y'all go to the same school. Though you might not have that, you still do have your community of people that you might still seek validation from. But he does still have a point.
Still discovering yourself. They say that by the time you're 35, you absolutely know who you are. I don't know. Any of you guys who are 35 plus, let me know. I'll confirm that in a few years. But
right, yeah, me too.
I know for me, now that I'm in my 30s, I'm way more congruent. My identity is far more stable, and I know exactly who I am. And I've never had talent. I've had to work for everything I have in my life.
I respect that. Because I'm not going to say I didn't have talent, because I do in my own right. And I think we all do in our own right. But when you reach I'm big on self-awareness. And what it is as time goes on and as you get older, you start to realize and start to like pinpoint certain attributes that it might not be like obvious talent, like being good at sports or being super fast or being super charismatic. You know, those are obvious talents. But there are talents in you that you just haven't come to realize. But to go back to his point that he had to work for everything, see, and that's kind of my thing. Like, my talents wasn't obvious talents. I had to discover them through underlying things I was already doing, right? And one of my talents that is kind of like an underlying thing is that I am very, I have a strong will to prove people wrong. Like, I have that don't count me out spirit. And that allows me to put my foot in almost anything and work hard to make it happen. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't have that, which is cool. It ain't, it's just what it is. But to go to a point though, that I did have to work hard for a lot of things in my life. Like, nothing was given to me. I had to, even with this YouTube channel, I'm not one of these people that can start a YouTube channel in a few months. I'm at 50,000 subscribers. Like, I have to grind for every little subscriber I get. Every single one. For every little comment, I have to grind for that. For every little thing, I have to put in the work for that. So, salute to him on that. But that just comes with the game. You know what I mean? As you get older, you want to pay attention to the things in your life that matters. I will say that at 30, one thing I have realized, and he'll get into this, but this is something I definitely want y'all to think about, is that in my 20s, I hustled. Like, I was figuring myself out. If you don't know, I'm a videographer, a cinematographer, all that, right? And I was, hustling, figuring that stuff out in my 20s, just putting in the work, putting in the 10,000 hours, right? And now that I'm 30, I want to be more intentional. Because though I was putting in hella work and it was getting me to a point, I felt like I could have gotten further if I was more intentional about the work I was putting in. Like they say, work smarter, not harder. A lot of us is working harder, but it ain't going nowhere. And sometimes, like this YouTube, you have to work harder because you don't know the right way to work smarter, or you don't have the resources or the information to work smarter. So if all else fails, because I know people that refuse to work hard, they just want to work smart in everything they do. And though that can be a good thing, that can be a hindrance. I would rather, I got these damn meta glasses, my bad, I tapped them up. I would rather you work harder. If you can't work smarter because you just don't know, work harder then. Do something. But if you have been working hard for the longest and you don't feel like it's getting you to where you need to go, slow down and figure out the resources for you to work smarter. Don't be one of the people, though, that sit around and don't do nothing because you only want to work smart. Because you're going to slow yourself down and you're just going to waste a bunch of time. I would rather you work harder if that's all you got. If you don't have the resources, if you don't have the information, then just work hard. Because getting somewhere is better than getting nowhere. You know what I mean? But anyway, I worked hard. And I gotten pretty far. I've done a lot of things in my life that I otherwise wouldn't have had done if I never picked up a camera. But I would be in a whole different financial space if I was working smarter. And it was a point where I could have been working smarter. I just rather worked harder because I was looking for validation. So now that I'm 30, I'm not so much caring about all the validation and social media likes and props from my peers. I'm starting to not care about that. I'm starting to focus more about intention. And like this YouTube channel, like nobody, like very few people in my personal life or on my videography side of my life know I even have this YouTube channel. Like this is just between me and y'all. It's about intention. It's about building a community. It's about setting myself up for future revenue and future opportunities. You know what I mean? Just proper t-shirts coming soon. Help me get monetized. But anyway, yeah, no, I respect that. But back to the video. I'm sorry I get long-winded. But if you don't take anything from the video, work smarter, not harder. But if you can't work smarter, work harder until you get to the position to work smarter. But let's continue.
Everything. And the guys who had the talent, who had all the opportunities, once you hit 30, you realize nobody's coming to save you. Talent is not enough. But the guys who have been doing the work, oh yes, 30s, first and foremost, isn't even a man's prime. Right. I used to think that 30s were like old, 40s, man. It's funny. Towards
50.
That was my juvenile brain thinking. But truthfully, if you do your due diligence to build yourself up across all facets as a man, you can dominate well into your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. There are no limits. Most guys lose themselves after the 18 to 28 period where they had all the status, when they were in shape, when they were popping, they had all these things going on. But once you get into your 30s and all that hype dies down and real life sets in, because I don't even consider college real life, then a man truly defines who he is. In your 30s, you know who you are. I would hope. Now, there's still guys in their 30s and 40s who are still struggling with their identity. And when
if you want to increase your opportunity to know who you are in your 30s, do a lot of moving around in your 20s. Live life with minimal long-term mess ups. So try to avoid things like messing up your credit or knocking chicks up or making any like long-term commitments in your 20s. I mean, relationships fine, just don't make any long-term like life commitments that you can't like. Don't get married that early. I ain't gonna say don't. If you find a woman that's really rocking with you and you can see that being long-term, then do your thing. I'm not against that, right? But what I will say is limit the very long-term commitments that can damage you and make your life harder in your 30s. But live life though. Have fun. Go to different I always say, if you want to figure out what you like, dabble into different communities and stick it out to see if you like it or not. You know what I mean? Join a run club, join a book club, go to open mics with poetry, go to college, date a Hispanic girl, date a black woman, date a white girl. You know what I mean? Do a lot of different things that can open your variety. Just like I say, just don't make any long-term mistakes like knocking chicks up. Like you don't want to make decisions that you wasn't ready for, that life decisions that you wasn't ready for that can hinder you in your 30s. Like, I don't have any kids to my knowledge. I don't got no kids. So you know, I could have made better financial decisions. I can say that, but that's what I'm telling you now. Like, avoid certain decisions that can mess you up and make your life harder. But that's why I'm playing catch up. I'm hustling. So hit the like and subscribe button. Join the Prosper Gang so I can get my shit together. You know what I mean? But we all working. It's prosperity around this mug. But anyway, live a lot of life is what I'm saying. Live a lot of life, and that will allow you to, when you get into your 30s, you have more of an understanding of the things you do like and you don't like. You know what I mean? play sports, pick up different hobbies, go to different places, go hiking, go to different. If you have your passport, get your passport, go to different countries, go do a little thing, do a lot to where you realize, okay, I done lived so much in my 20s. This is the man I want to be in my 30s moving forward. Because as you do that, you'll start to form the idea of who you want to be. Now, of course, you can do that by watching other people, but it's best to experience it yourself if you can. Like I said, don't go into crazy debt. Don't commit to something that you don't want to commit to. Live life, though. All right, let's continue.
Not making fun of that. Rather, it's to bring it out so that you can be aware that you should have an established identity in your 30s. You should not know who you are.
And like I say, you can't do that sitting in the house playing Minecraft all day. You can't sit in the house playing 2K all day and thinking you're going to find yourself. You can't stay in the same hood, hanging with the same, you know what I mean, thinking you're going to find yourself. You got to explore the world. Do something, maybe pick a Friday night, pick a Saturday night, something, and you ain't got nothing to do. Go out by yourself. Go to somewhere you did not think you was going to go. That coffee shop, you know, normally you go to the hookah lounge and go smoke some hookah. That coffee shop that you pass by every day, stop there. Go get a matcha or something. I ain't never ordered no matcha, but you get what I'm saying. Be different. Try it. You ain't got to tell nobody. Just try it. Like I said, very few people know about this YouTube. But as I continue to do it, I realize, man, do I really like this? I done started and stopped YouTube so many different times, but it keep finding itself back to me. That's how you know if it's something that you really like. Try something. If it keep finding your way back to you, you starting to form who you really are. I'm sorry I get passionate, I get to talking. I'm only 3 minutes in this video, and we 15 minutes into this video. So, but we're going to keep it going.
And now that I know who I am, here's what that looks like. I have found myself no longer seeking external validation. I no longer second guess myself. When I have a negative thought come up, which happens to everybody, I kind of laugh at it and I just observe it, and then I just take a contrarian action. This signals that I don't have the identity of the old insecure version of myself, rather the new version of myself that's accomplishing the things that I'm going after. It's that simple. These little mental tweaks is what's required to move yourself towards that next chapter of your life, the identity upgrade. Now, what does an identity upgrade look like for a man? Well, let's talk about it. We have different sectors. Obviously, we have professional, we have sexual, we have physical, right? We have social in terms of networking, who you know, right? What I found is that on a personal note, I'm far more selfish with my time. When you are a man, especially a business owner or a man that's climbing the corporate ladder, and you're really pouring your energy into aggrandizing yourself financially and professionally, you don't have the time to allocate energy towards things that are not building your business, right? That are not getting you better, things that are not forcing you to grow. The only things that get my time allocation these days are my business, my clients, close friends and associates, which we grow each other, right? Obviously family, and the woman I'm seeing.
So, and that goes a lot with what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about being intentional. So you want to be intentional about the things you do. Now, like I say, you don't have to be right away. If you don't force yourself into an intention if you don't have a blueprint for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I say just work if you have to. Like, I would rather you work hard and then figure out intention as you do it than to just strictly focus on intention. As you get older and you start being in this space, then the intentions start forming. Now you know how to avoid wasting time doing other things. Because I agree with them. Like, in this time, in space and time, like, things that just don't... Hold on. Oh, anyway, that's my dogs. Anyway, yeah, so I would rather you work harder and figure out intention as you get older. Because, like I said, as I get older, I'm in this space where I'm starting to push away stuff that don't make sense, that's wasting my time, that's not going towards my overall purpose of freedom and getting my time back. I'm fighting for my time back. I want to have kids. I want to get married. I want all that, but I need my time back for me to feel comfortable doing these things, right? And but I wouldn't have known that not I had just worked hard and figured out what it is that was the most important to me. I'm gonna be honest, like in my 20s when I was doing this videography stuff, the most important thing to me at the time was I wanted to be still a full-time creator, but I wanted to be like a whole lot of notoriety around my videography and cinematography work. Like I wanted to work with the superstars and the famous rappers and the famous celebrities. And though I've worked with some people, right, I realized that what's most important to me is family, free time, being able to wake up and go to the store and not have to clock in at nobody's job, or spend my day chilling with my dog and my girl or whatever. That's what's most important to me. All the other stuff, it just feeds my ego and whatever insecurities I had back when I was younger, trying to prove people wrong. But now I realize what's most important, but I wouldn't have known that if I didn't work hard, go through those trials and tribulations, and realize like, dang, it's kind of like similar to when you hit so many chicks, not physically, but you know what I'm talking about. When you done had relations with so many chicks, and you realize like, dang, I thought I wanted a whole bunch of women. When I realized like, you was feeding whatever insecurity you had back when you was younger. So focus on living life, just working hard and finding yourself out. Like I said before, walk away with it, experience life, but try not to have too much collateral damage along with that. So when it's time for you to get your life in check, you able to push back all those experiences, but also not have no collateral damage that keeps you from becoming who you need to be moving forward. Ah, shit.
And if you are still giving people your energy that don't deserve it, that don't give you a direct ROI, you have not reached the identity upgrade needed to get you to that next level. You have to be selfish with your time. You're going to have to make this identity shift.
And like you said, this is primarily after 30s. Don't be too selfish too early. You might miss out on your blessing. Just saying.
I remember.
But don't be too lenient giving everybody your time. But just understand, have an idea. But just be open in your early 20s, because that might position you. I'm sorry I keep doing, but it's a guy I met, this artist that I met that I still work with to this day. No. So it's this artist that I met in my I want to say mid-20s, in my mid-20s. That to this day, he has made a big impact in my life. Though, if I didn't, and I was still trying to figure myself out and where I wanted to go in this music video director thing, cinematographer thing. And at the time, if I wasn't open, I would have been missing my blessing. This artist has done a lot for a lot of people, changed people's lives, made people better, right? If I missed out on that opportunity, maybe he wouldn't have gotten there as fast. Maybe he wouldn't have gotten there at all. Who knows? But then I wouldn't experience some of the things that he was able to bring me into. You know what I mean? So you want to be open to it. But like I said, now that I'm older, we're doing stuff with more intention. You know what I mean? But let's continue. I'm sorry I keep stopping. I know y'all want to watch this video. Blah, blah, blah.
I used to care so much about sex. I used to care so much about women. And I still love women very much. But I remember there were many times where I would invite a woman over, I would sleep with her, and then right after I get that post-nut clarity and I'm like, I want you to leave. You feel me? So you hit it with so what you about to do. Right?
Get out.
And in hindsight, I realized if you're dealing with a woman that after you nut, you immediately want her to leave and you don't want her to stay, it means you don't genuinely enjoy her presence.
That's true.
And if you don't genuinely enjoy her presence, it means that she's not adding anything to you.
That is also
Rather,
true.
she's taking from you, taking your energy, taking your resources, right?
And to be fair, because I'm a fair man. To be fair, she probably don't add any value. I ain't gonna say she can't. Either you haven't figured out what value she could add or where she belongs in your life. Excuse me, where she belongs in your life, or maybe she just don't belong there. So I mean, both can be true. You know what I mean?
So why would you allow those kind of women to be in your life? The main woman that I'm seeing right now, whenever we're having intimate time, I genuinely enjoy her presence. I genuinely enjoy spending time with her, speaking to her. And I know this is probably gonna get her geeked out because I'm pretty sure she's watching this video right now because she be stalking me. If your woman isn't obsessed with you, stalking you, I don't know what to tell you. That's another story. But
Yeah. You definitely want a woman that is excited. I would let's say that. I ain't gonna say stalking, because that can be like, you don't want a woman so insecure to where like, and this is just my preference. Everybody got their own preference, but you don't want a woman to where her life revolves around you. Some people might argue against that. I don't want that. I want to be top 3 in your life, but I don't want your life to revolve around me. You have to have your own identity. You know what I mean? And maybe I changed my mind later on, but that's just how I feel, because I typically think that women that date men and like their life revolves around those men, it's for your ego, it sounds good. It sounds like, yeah, right. Like my girl, like her life revolves around me. Like she can't do nothing without me. And to your ego, it might sound good. But the problem is a lot of that is insecurity. And with that comes a lot of stress, depending on the type of woman you're dealing with. She either gonna be blowing your phone up, wondering where you at all time. And for a man that's on his purpose, working, trying to get his life to where he want to be, serving whatever meaning God put in his life, that's going to be hard to do that when you got a woman that's down your throat 24/7, wondering every move you make. She's going to be insecure. She might be thinking you dealing with other women. It's just a whole bunch, right? And that's why it's like you want to balance. You want to be important to her. Top 3 for sure. But you don't, but if she like super obsessed with you, it can really get to a point to where to your ego it sound good, but on the other end of that, it's gonna get on your nerves. I'm telling you, it will be. You don't want it to be that bad. I'm not saying that's what he's saying, but just for anybody that's listening to what he's saying and you thinking, oh, if she not kissing my feet, I don't want her. No. Because on the other end of that, is not what you want, bro. I'm telling you. She gonna be, you can't go to the store with your homies. I mean, every man need his bro time. Like how we having this conversation and I'm talking to you. I mean, this is digital bro time, but you need physical bro time too, hanging out with your homies and stuff. You want your girl blowing your phone up? You need a break from that girl. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to, let's just make this more healthy is all I'm saying.
How you allocate your time, your intimate time, your professional time, your time to study, your leisure time, your time for social interaction, all of these things become vital for your aggrandizement. And in your 30s, these sectors of your life have to be dialed in. You should know whether this person serves you or they don't. Simple. If you're still wasting time on things that give you no ROI just to get a nut, you're still thinking like a little boy.
That is true.
You know, I talk to so many guys on consultations in my coaching community, and oftentimes I'll hear, Dud, I'm stuck at 8K a month. I'm stuck at 10K a month. I'm stuck at 15K a month. You know, it's been 4 months. It's been 5 months. I'm trying to figure out this strategy, this content, this, that. It's not strategy. It's not content. It's none of that. I always tell my guys, the identity it took you to get to 8K a month, 10K, 15 is not what's going to get you to 40. You don't have content strategy issues or whatever. You have personal problems. Your current identity is capping you from moving to that next level. You're not worthy of making 40 a month yet. You're not worthy of the impact yet, of the status yet. You're not worthy of these things, and it's simple. You just have to take a look in the mirror and accept that. There are certain
I think what he's saying, he's saying it. He might be saying it in a way to where it might come off wrong, but I get what he's saying, which kind of got some truth to it. Because I always say, man, I deserve 1,000 subscribers. Well, if I deserve 1,000 subscribers, I would have 1,000 subscribers. But maybe I'm on my way there. You know what I mean? It's a lot that come with it. Like I had a guy comment on a video the other day, and I was like, dang, that was negative as hell. That was a negative comment. But I'm like, bro, but if this page keep growing, that's gonna happen a lot more often, right? And I gotta be ready for that. So a lot of times I'm like, man, I need 1,000 subscribers. But the moment I immediately get it tomorrow, let's say I get it tomorrow and I get a flood of a lot of negative comments, can I handle that? So sometimes you gotta go through the little steps that get you there. You know what I mean? So, but I will say though, a lot of times, a lot of the things in your life is mental, right? Of course, it's some physical sometimes, and a lot is a lack of knowledge or resources that you need to get you to that next level. But it is a lot of mental. You got to get your mental in check. But like I say, a lot of that comes with trying to be intentional, looking for the right answers, but also just working. You know what I mean? Just work and believe it. Believe it or not, before you know it, you will be so far up, you'll look back and be like, how the hell did I get here? You know what I mean? But also, like I said, you need to go out and seek the knowledge. It ain't just gonna land in your lap. So by them calling him, asking for that advice, they're on the right track. They might not be there yet, but the behaviors that they're following by asking him, how can I get to that next level? He might not have the answers for him. But by them creating that habit of asking, I always say, God got the answer to your problems and your answers. I mean, God got the answer to your questions and to your problems. You just got to ask enough people, and somebody gonna give you the right answer, especially when it clicks to you. Because if somebody might give you the right answer today, but because your mind ain't there yet, it won't click. But then sometimes your mind is there, and you got the wrong answer for somebody, so it don't click. So it's about being there mentally and finding the person with the correct answers, so they both meet. You know what I mean? But he got this is about halfway through, so I'm gonna let y'all finish the rest of his video. Again, this is this guy. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but shout out to him. You know what I mean? He on his way up. You know, he popped up on our algorithm, so he probably popped up on a lot of y'all's or a lot of people's algorithms. So yeah, check him out. I think so far I ain't really heard nothing I disagree with. So shout out to him. Get y'all stuff together. Remember, work smarter, not harder. But if you can't work smarter, at least work harder until you get into a position to work smarter. With that being said, hit the like and subscribe button. Please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps out the channel. It allows other people to find this channel. It helps other people find him too. You know what I mean? But hit the like and subscribe button. Join the Prosper Gang. We keeping it PG. There's a whole lot of prosperity going around this mug. You feel me? With that being said, remember, there's nothing impossible to they who try. Till next time I'm out, dose.